Now we back with part 3, proving Esau is not the so-called white man. You Hebrew Israelites are quick to say, I want the truth! But do you really want the truth? Because when we tell you the truth, guess what?
You can't handle the truth!
Exactly.
You can't handle the truth!
Exactly. You can't handle the truth. Now, it's important to know who Esau is. Because once you know who Esau is,
împotriva islamismului, împotriva edomiților, împotriva lumii arabe.
God is against the Islam, the Edomites, the Arab world.
Then you'll know who is Mystery Babylon.
Din Edom și din Ishmael.
Because again, from Edom and Ishmael,
s-a născut lumea arabă.
We have the Arab world.
Care este lumea islamică de astăzi, în cea mai mare parte.
Which is the majority of the Islamic world today.
But if you don't know who Esau is, then you'll believe the lie who Mystery Babylon is, right? If you think Esau is a white man, then you'll think America is Mystery Babylon. But if you knew who Esau was, then you would know who is Mystery Babylon. So in this video, I'm gonna bring out some video precepts to even further prove who Esau is and who Mystery Babylon is, so we can get to the end of this. And these video clips are going to make the Hebrew Israelite doctrines look like Christianity. You guys are going to look like preschool when this truth comes out, to prove and see that you guys really need to study hard.
De ce nu este pace totuși după atâtea mii de ani între Esau și Iacob?
Why isn't there peace after so many thousands of years between Esau and Jacob?
Între lumea arabă și lumea islamică.
Between the Arab world
și lumea ebraică.
And the Israelites.
Sunt câteva argumente pentru care.
Well, there are a few arguments why this is so.
Primul argument.
The first one.
Esau a schimbat pe Dumnezeul tatălui său cu un Dumnezeu străin.
That Esau changed the God of his fathers with a foreign God.
În loc să se închine Dumnezeului lui Avram și lui Isaac.
Instead of worshiping the God of Abraham and Isaac,
l-a ales pe Allah,
he chose Allah,
adică zeul lună, cum vă spuneam,
or the God of the moon.
Și în felul acesta a devenit un idolatru.
And in this way he became an idolater.
Pentru că în spatele zeului lună este diavolul, este Satana.
Because behind this God of the moon is Satan, the devil.
Now last time we left off with 70 AD in the conspiracy, right? So now we're going to get into the judgment for Esau's actions. Now let's get into the judgment for Esau's actions, right? Because the Most High is very specific on where Esau would be and his judgment and location, right? The Most High is very specific, so we need to look at context. We need to look at the context of what he's saying and their location to understand where Esau would be in this end time judgment, right? That's like me telling you to go over there and kill these people in New York City and Queens, but you go to New York City and Brooklyn. Therefore, you didn't listen to my instructions. So I should put you to death. And it's the same thing that happened with Saul. The Most High told him to kill, and he didn't. He didn't listen. So the Most High demoted him. He had to step down from being king. So we need to listen to what the Most High is saying according to his word in context so that we can find Esau and locate him, right? If we get into the scripture, the Most High reveals Esau. So it's not a mystery who Esau is. It's not a mystery. Jeremiah 49 verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. Are y'all listening to the Most High when he said that? He made Esau bare and uncovered his secret places. So where is his secret place then, if the Most High uncovered it and made it bare? And if he did, why you not listening? And he shall not be able to hide himself. So Esau is not going to be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled in his brethren and his neighbor, and he is not. Right? Now, let's precept this to find out where's Esau's secret place, right? Ezekiel 25 verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from T-Man, and they of D-Dan shall fall by the sword. So the Most High said he coming to kill them, and he's giving you a specific location. And you're not listening to him? Once again, that's like telling you to go do a job, and you don't do it according to the direction he told you. He just said he's going to make it desolate from T-Man and they of D-Dan. So where is T-Man and D-Dan on the map? Where can we locate that at? Where is that at? Is nobody researching this? That's over there in Saudi Arabia. Jeez, man. You guys, y'all make this like rocket scientists, and then you want to argue and fight with us because we bringing this truth forward. And it's like we crazy, but y'all not paying attention. Precept, Jeremiah 49 again, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Most High of Hosts, is wisdom no more in T-Man? Once again, location, location, location. T-Man, right over there. Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Verse 8, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of D-Dan. Remember, he said they of D-Dan. Here it is, D-Dan again. For I will bring calamity of Esau upon him the time that I will visit him. So the Most High God is telling you right here, he's the one that's going to bring calamity upon Esau in the time, and at the time he visits him. The inhabitants of D-Dan, T-Man and D-Dan, saying this again, giving you a location of these people. So why are you not listening in context with what the Most High is saying? Another precept. Let's see. Jeremiah 25, 23 to 24. D-Dan, Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people, right? These are mingled people. Remember, Esau took the wife of Ishmael. Took the daughter of Ishmael and had seed. They're mingled people. And all the kings of Arabia and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert. You see that? So, now let's precept this in Jeremiah 48 when the Most High said he would bring calamity upon Esau when he visits him. So where would he be visiting him at? If he's coming to visit him, where would it be? It should be at a specific location, right? Let's see. Isaiah 63, verse 1 through 4. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Basra? Again, location, location, location. Where is Basra on the map? Why don't you look it up? This is an end time prophecy proving where Esau would be. Common sense. But no, y'all push dummy doctrines, right? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine vat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. See, the Most High here talking. When he returns, it's going to be in Basra for the day of vengeance. What vengeance? The same vengeance that was spoken of in Luke chapter 21, verse 22, about what happened during 70 AD, when our brothers, the Edomites, stood on the side and in the crossway to help to cut us off when the Romans came in. This is why the Most High bringing calamity on them, and they still over there. Basra, he's telling you. Where's Basra? It's not in Brooklyn. It's not in the Bronx. It's over there. But let's precept this to make sure that Most High is telling the truth, to make sure his words is in sync, and he's still in context. Amos chapter 1, verse 11 and 12. Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. He's not going to turn away the punishment, because he did pursue his brother. He's not a stranger. He's not a foreigner. He's our brother. So the Most High said because he did pursue his brother with the sword. That's right. They told you that in Obadiah. He stood in the crossways to cut us off. This is why the Most High is upset. And he did cast off all pity. So it was no pity for us as a people from our own brother who helped the foreigners come in. Who helped the foreigners take us in captivity. Who sold us to the foreigners. This is why he said, I hate Esau. I keep telling y'all that. And his anger did tear perpetually. And he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon T-Man, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Again, that word Basra, T-Man, giving you location, location, location. But you're not listening to the words of the Most High. You're not listening. Once again, precept, Jeremiah 49 verse 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Most High, that Basra, 3 times already. Are you listening? Are you dummy doctrine pushers listening? Basra shall become a desolation. Location, location, location. And reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. So the Most High telling you again, precept upon precept, when he returns, that destruction is going to be right over there. Another precept, Jeremiah 49, 16 to 22. Let's keep going. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. That's right over there. That holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. That's how they make their nest, high as the eagle. Right? It's a characteristic. I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yah. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it. Everyone that goeth by it. That means that's talking to that particular area. Shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. Because that's where Mashiach going to pop up at, right over there in Edom. Isaiah 63 told you that. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. Key word, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm going to show you a precept on that. And the neighbored cities thereof, saith Yah. No more shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Behold, this is end time destruction, guys. He shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan. The swelling of Jordan? Again, location, location, location. Against the inhabitants, the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? And who will appoint him the time? And who is the shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore, hear the counsel of the Most High, that he have taken against Edom. Oh, y'all listening? And his purposes, that he have purposed against the inhabitants of T-Man. The inhabitants of T-Man, really? You saying it again? They of T-Man and D-Dan, as he said earlier? Surely, least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely, he shall make them their habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Red Sea. Where is that at? That's right over there by Jordan. This is the end time prophecy giving you location, location, location. But you're not listening, or taking heed or comprehending. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. For the 4th time, Basra, location, location, location. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Once again, the Most High is telling you. Here's another precept. Isaiah 34, verse 5 and 6. Let's see if he's in sync. Let's see if the Most High fell off or if he's right in pocket. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, because he been pronounced this. The sword of the Most High is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Most High hath a sacrifice in Basra. The fifth time he's saying this. The fifth time. The fifth time. But you're not listening. Once again, location, location, location. In a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Why, O God? Why? Verse 8, for it is the day of Yah's vengeance. That's why. It's the day of his vengeance for what happened in 70 AD when Mashiach the Christ gave the warning in Luke 21. But in Obadiah, they helped the strangers and the foreigners. They stood on the other side to cut us off. In the year of my recompense of the controversy of Zion, because they took Zion. That's what's going on. If you want to find out what the word Basra means, look it up. The same as a place in Edom. Basra. This is what the Most High is saying. Let's get another precept. Numbers 24, verse 14. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come, therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. Let's see. Precept, Ezekiel 25:14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom, not America, according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Most High. Most High is saying it again, again, again. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going to see if y'all listening. The Most High said it 5 times, gave the locations in the same area. Numbers, back to Numbers 24, 16 to 20, right? To precept with the destruction that Mashiach is bringing in Isaiah 63, 1 through 4. He saith, he hath said, he said, he hath said, which heard the words of Elohim and know the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty falling in a trance, but having his eyes open, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob. There shall come a star out of Jacob. Who's the star? Mashiach, spoken in Isaiah 63. And a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab. You know where Moab is. I just showed y'all and told y'all. And destroy all the children of Sheth, and Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he, Mashiach, spoken in Isaiah 63. He that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looketh on Amalek, a descendant of Esau, right? When he looketh on Amalek, the same people that worship the stone, the stone representation of God, like Google showed you, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. End time destruction. But let's take it even further. And if you don't get it from here, the Most High God can't help you. If you're going to continue to say Esau's the white man from this next joint I'm going to show y'all, the Most High God can't help you. Can't give you wisdom, because wisdom is not privy to everybody. But here is the judgment concerning Babylon, to prove that America is not Babylon. Yeah, it's spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, but it's not as spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, but it's not Babylon. Here it go right here. Isaiah 13, 9 through 21. Showing you who Babylon is. Check this out. Behold, the day have come, the day of Yah cometh, right? Cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So this is end time destruction, right? We clear on that. For the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof. Okay, to lay the land desolate and destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall give her light. The sun shall be darkened in going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. That's when the Most High appears on us. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Most High of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. Once again, this is end time judgment. And it shall be as the chased rogue, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and for gold they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity upon the fruit of the wound. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, end time destruction, right? And Babylon, again, who is Babylon? And Babylon, y'all listening? The glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So Babylon's going to be like when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. I precept that. I showed you that already. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So this is an end time destruction for Babylon, right? Check this out. Neither shall the Arabian pinch tent there. So you mean where Babylon is? That's where the Arabs are? But wait a minute. I thought you guys told me America is Babylon. The Most High just said all this end time destruction is going to happen. And then he said, neither shall the Arabians pinch their tent there. That's crazy. That means y'all not thinking, man. Location. Neither shall the shepherd make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doubtful creatures, and owls shall dwell there. So again, Babylon is over there in Arabia, where the Arabs are. End time destruction. The Most High's wrath. Babylon. Nobody's listening though. And he's been giving you all these precepts. All these precepts I just read is location, which is right over there. But yet, you're going to still have coons after this video saying Esau is a white man. Because you just want to be ignorant and defiant and stiff-necked as hell, just like the Most High said we are. Just like the Most High said we are. Proving his word to be true. Now let's get into some video precepts to help us understand who Mystery Babylon is.
In this broadcast, we'll discover the ancient mark of Satan's kingdom. We'll find out who Babylon the Great really is. And we'll discover why Turkey will be the seat of the Antichrist. Good day. Many have long speculated on who Babylon the Great really is. Rome has been the prime candidate for many, as well as New York. But neither of these is the true Babylon. The Bible tells us that this Babylon is a mystery to the world, but the Bible declares plainly exactly where Mystery Babylon is located. It's not the original Babylon in Iraq, but yet its practices are identical to Babylon's. The Babylonian religious system revolved around the worship of the heavens, the sun, moon and stars. The crescent and star symbol is the very key, not only to who Mystery Babylon is, but also to the identity of the beast. The crescent and star is known to be the symbol of Islam.
Here's another video precept.
The symbol of Islam is the sickle moon and the star. The star within the sickle moon. Now, where does this symbol come from? And who is Allah? Well, let's go to some interesting quotes also from encyclopedias of religion and etc. Allah, he was the moon god who married the sun goddess. Together they produced three goddesses who were called the daughters of Allah. These three goddesses were called Allat, Al-Uzza, and Manat. The Encyclopedia of Religion mentions that Allah is a pre-Islamic name corresponding to the Babylonian Bel. Fascinating. So this is an ancient pagan religion, and Bel, or Baal, is the deity. We read in Morals and Dogma, page 451, the Arabian word Aldebaran means the foremost or leading star, and it could only have been so named when it did precede or lead all others. The year then opened with the sun in Taurus and the multitude of ancient sculptures both in Assyria and Egypt, wherein the bull appears with lunette or crescent horns, and the disk of the sun between them, are direct allusions to important festivals of the first new moon of the year, and there was everywhere an annual celebration of the festival of the first new moon when the year opened with Sol, the sun, and Luna, the moon, in Taurus, and the symbol of Taurus is that one over there. The crescent and disk combined always represent the conjunctive sun and moon. That means basically the male-female deity. Adoration of the celestial cow, Mehet Veret, there's the all-seeing eye, the eye of Osiris. Here are the horns, there is the disc in the horns, and it also represented the plunging of the sun god into the womb of the mother to be born by Isis. So the horns are also a representation of the moon, the sickle moon. So in later religions, or from Babylon itself, Assyrian style, there you have the half moon with a solar disk in it. And the same over here, enlarged. Note that this is Baal Hadad, the birth of the sun. If we go to Mesopotamia, we'll find the old symbol of Baal and Bel was exactly the same, the half moon and the star in it, representing the birth of the sun. Isis and Osiris, the male-female aspect. So this would be Ashtoreth and Tammuz, or Isis and Horus, the male-female. The same you find in Egyptian, as we have already discussed it. This is Baal worship, this is Lucifer worship in his male-female form.
But these ancient and demonic symbols were also the very symbols of Baal Hammon. Baal, the ancient Mesopotamian false god mentioned in the Bible, who was worshipped together with Ashtaroth, the star goddess. These symbols go all the way back to Nimrod and Semiramis. Semiramis was the wife of Nimrod, but she was also his mother. This disgusting harlot started all the false religions of the world. When God changed the people's languages and they stopped building Nimrod's Tower of Babel, this cult of Nimrod and Semiramis continued to spread into those divided nations, most of which have a god and goddess as the basis of their false religion, which began with Nimrod and Semiramis. Their cult went from one empire to the next. In Egypt, they were called Osiris and Isis. In Assyria, Ashur and Ishtar. In Babylon, Bel and Belit. In Persia, Mithra and Anahita. In Greece, Helios and Artemis. In Rome, Apollo and Diana. Throughout the Bible, they are mainly called Baal and Ashtaroth, the Queen of Heaven.
Now today in American captivity, that same Baal and Queen of Heaven is the Lord, or what they call Lord, because the Lord means Baal, and the Queen of Heaven is Mary. That's what's going on in these religions, or this Christianity, or this Catholicism. It's the same Babylonian worship.
The papacy has exactly the same thing, because the Pope is today the representative of the Babylonian religion. So when he says the Mass, he has a round wafer disc, its roundness coming as a symbol of Baal. And after a Mass, it is placed in a monstrance, which is a half moon. So then you have the birth of the sun, and you have it symbolized in this form. Here's another monstrance in which the host is placed, representing the birth of the sun. So Catholicism uses the symbol of the half moon with the sun or the star in it.
Even took along the tent of Moloch, the star of your god Rephan, and the images you made in order to worship them. But throughout all their name changes, one thing remained the same. The symbols by which these false gods are identified. The crescent and star. In Egypt, the crescent and star was carried on the head of Isis. And the Apis bull also carried the sun disk image of Isis between his crescent-shaped horns. And if you take a closer look, you can see that the real author of these symbols is the serpent. And he is the one receiving the worship through these symbols of the crescent and star. The Bible tells us that the serpent is Satan. During Roman times, Semiramis was worshipped under the name Diana. Diana's image was once again the crescent and star of Islam. And they too bowed down and worshipped her image in the form of a meteorite, which fell from heaven. Because the meteorite depicted her astrological moon and star image. When the apostles tried to minister to the people in Ephesus, all of them with one voice went on crying out for about 2 hours, "Great is Diana of Ephesus." And having quieted the crowd, the city clerk said, "Men of Ephesus, for what man is there who does not know that the city of the Ephesians is the temple keeper of the great goddess Diana and of the image fallen from heaven?" Clearly the image which fell from heaven was a meteorite. And the worshippers of Diana all worshipped her in the same way, by shouting, "Great, great, great is Diana." This is exactly how the Muslims praise Allah. And they bow toward the city of Mecca, repeating Allahu Akbar over and over again. For Allahu Akbar means Allah is great. And it's the very same cry heard by the worshippers of Diana as they bow toward the great city of Mecca. Mecca has become just like Ephesus, the city which held the meteorite image which fell down from heaven. They too chanted that Diana was great. For the Muslims, just like Ephesus, also bow down to an image which fell from heaven.
So the Muslims, Esau, the Arabians, are worshiping that same stone that fell from heaven. Precept, Isaiah 14 verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? You see that? So they're worshiping the same Lucifer. If we find another precept, Jubilee 35 verse 17. This is what Isaac said about Esau. "And I fear you not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful and honored and praised more than the guardian of Esau." So who's the guardian of Jacob? The Most High. Who's the guardian of Esau? Lucifer. They're worshiping Lucifer over there. That's their God, because they've forsaken the Most High God.
And Muslims are seen kissing and caressing the stone as if the stone was a woman. Indeed, Mecca is the great harlot, whose worshippers call her great. And it's the very title written on her forehead, Babylon the Great. When the angel took John into the desert to see this harlot, he told him that it wasn't just a false religious system, but a religious city as well. The only religious city which can be found in a desert is Mecca. And shockingly, the very symbol of the star of Semiramis, the harlot, is still being worshipped today by Muslims around the world in the form of the Kaaba stone. The Muslims claim that the Kaaba stone was a star which fell from heaven. It's the very same star symbol of Semiramis, the Queen of Heaven. And she is still being worshipped today, exactly where the angel said this harlot could be found. In the wilderness or desert. Babylon is not Rome, neither is it New York, for neither of those places are found in a desert. The last time Israel was in the desert, they were also worshipping a false god, the golden calf, which Moses smashed. This was the same bull calf god from Egypt. The bull god carried the very symbol of the harlot Isis between its crescent-shaped horns. Thanks to the discoveries of Ron Wyatt, we know exactly that this false worship took place in the desert of Saudi Arabia. where the altar for the golden calf still stands, kept secret by the Saudi Arabian government. The very same country and desert where the Jews were worshipping this golden calf beast and star symbol of the harlot is the same country and desert in which we find the city of Mecca. Mecca has become the global center of moon and star worship, the exact same religion of ancient Babylon. Before Islam, Mecca was a city dedicated to many false gods. The false goddess, Alat, was the wife of Allah. Alat was the moon goddess and fertility goddess Semiramis, which Satan has used from the beginning. Her shrine was the Kaaba, which housed Alat's most famous idol, a black stone meteorite. Muhammad took the city of Mecca in 632, and Muhammad entered her shrine and destroyed Alat's idols. Yet her black stone idol was preserved, and Muhammad even helped to position her black stone idol in the east wall of the Kaaba. Indeed, the Kaaba stone is the idol of the harlot. The angel told John that this harlot sits on many waters. Then he said to me, the waters which you saw, where the harlot sits, are peoples, multitudes, nations and languages. The angel told John that the waters were not seas, but people from all over the world, from many peoples, nations and languages. This is an amazing description, seeing as the Muslims come from all over the world for the Hajj. These people flow in and circle around the Kaaba like water. Indeed, this harlot does sit on many peoples, nations and languages, and they all fall down and worship the image of Semiramis or Diana, which fell from heaven. The Muslim call to prayer exactly mirrors Nebuchadnezzar's form of worship. Nebuchadnezzar set up an image in the plain of Jura. When all the people in his kingdom heard the music, which was a call to prayer, they all had to bow down toward the image which he set up. Or, he said they would be put to death. This is identical to the Islamic form of worship. It's exactly the same form of Babylonian worship instituted by Nebuchadnezzar. And at the call to prayer, Muslims, just like the Babylonians, all fall down and worship an image. The worship of Bel in Babylon revolved around sun worship. And astoundingly, the Islamic prayer times are based on the 5 positions of the sun throughout the day. In fact, the 5 prayer times have to be judged by things like what the sun's color is, how long the shadow is, or whether there is light left in the sky. You can find out from Wikipedia how Islamic prayer times are tied to the sun itself. The very beast system of Babylonian worship is already in place, waiting for the speaking image of the beast, which may be the very Kaaba stone itself, which Muhammad declared would one day speak and give wisdom to all who touch it. Very few people have connected the dots to Islam. Those who refuse to bow toward the Islamic beast's image when the call from the minarets is heard throughout the Islamic Empire will be put to death, just like they were under Nebuchadnezzar. In Babylon, they worshipped the sun god through the magic square, and the Babylonian priests wore these sun seal amulets as seals of protection from the gods themselves. They believed that the numbers 1 to 36 represented the 36 constellations, which were also gods, and the total of all the numbers equaled 666, which also represented the sun god, which was their king. Hidden in the Babylonian square is a 6-sided symbol, a symbol which encompassed all their false gods. This shape creates a 3-dimensional cube or house for these gods, which is exactly the shape of the Kaaba itself. But that's not all. Seeing as the Babylonian sun god was the supreme ruler over these other gods or constellations, its number was placed outside the square. The very same position in which we find the 666 on the Babylonian seal is the exact same position we find the Kaaba stone built into the Kaaba's wall. Without doubt, the Kaaba stone is intricately connected with Babylonian sun worship and worship of the heavens. The very name Kaaba in English means square or cube. It's the same magic square the Babylonians used to worship their sun god.
Also, I showed you guys in part 1, right? Where in Google, they showed you that Amalek, the grandson of Esau, they showed you when you scrolled down that the Edomite religion was to a stone cube representation of God. The Edomite religion was to a stone cube representation of God. Who is that today? The Arabs. The Arabs. Everything is pointing right back to them. Same Babylonian, Luciferian worship. It's time to wake up and get out of the dummy doctrines.
The black Kaaba represents the sun, around which all the Muslims, like stars, revolve. Some prominent Islamists have said that Muslims circling the Kaaba resembles the orbit of the galaxy. Wikipedia says it has been proposed, for example, that the act of tawaf closely resembles the shape of a galaxy when viewed from above. This circling is interesting because the very place where Nebuchadnezzar placed his idol was called Jura, and Jura means circle. Muslims portray Allah in symbols of the sun and star, and you can clearly see on the Kaaba doors that the name of Allah is portrayed with sun symbols. In the Bible, which has been translated into Arabic, there is something very surprising. Found in the Arabic number 666 is a word, and that word is stone, as in Kaaba stone. The Bible is telling us that the 666 is directly linked to the Kaaba stone of Islam. The Bible describes the beast as coming from the sea. So it was interesting to discover that in nautical sea miles, the distance from the Kaaba in Mecca to the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem is exactly 666 nautical miles. Muhammad called the black stone Yamin Allah, which means the right hand of Allah. But in the Bible, Jesus himself is referred to as the right hand of God, and he sits at his Father's right hand. He is also called the cornerstone. So this stone is literally a replacement for Christ. Muhammad also declared that by doing the Hajj, which is making the pilgrimage to Mecca once per year, circling around the Kaaba stone 7 times, and then touching it, that Allah uses the black stone to take your sins away. Once again we can see Christ being replaced by this stone. For the Bible says, it is Jesus who takes away our sins through his sacrifice. And Muhammad has replaced Jesus Christ with a stone fallen from heaven. Moses clearly said, "And beware, lest you raise your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, you be drawn away, and bow down to them, and serve them." Deuteronomy 4:19. Without doubt Muslims are clearly disobeying God.
So why are the Muslims, Esau's seed, the Arabs, disobeying God? As I showed y'all before in part 1, right, in Jubilee chapter 20, verse 1 through 3 or 1 through 4, the Most High made a covenant with Abraham and his seed, and Abraham told Esau and them to follow in the ways of the Most High. He gathered all of them together, and they were supposed to walk in the ways of the Most High. But Esau rejected the Most High. This is why Isaac said this in Jubilee 35, verse 14. "And now my heart is troubled because of all his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved. For they are those who will be destroyed from under the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham." So Esau forsook the Most High, right? And gone after his women, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. So his women were the Canaanite women, the African women that were worshiping false gods. This is what he went after, the same Lucifer, right? He's doing the same thing today. That's who Babylon is. It's not the so-called white man. It's all about Esau, and that's who they are.
Acts 7:39 says, "But our ancestors refused to obey him. They pushed him aside and wished that they could go back to Egypt It was then that they made an idol in the shape of a bull, offered sacrifice to it, and had a feast in honor of what they themselves had made. So God turned away from them, and gave them over to worship the stars of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets. God says he will turn away from those who worship the host of heaven. For this has been the religion of the heathen throughout the generations of the world. And it's also the very religion of Islam. The angel told John that the religious city of Babylon had a name written on her forehead. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. The very name of Mecca means mother of all settlements. Indeed, Mecca is the mother of Islamic cities around the world, and the abominations of Baal, which top all her Islamic mosques. And she is mother of Islamic terrorism, and responsible for the deaths of Christians slaughtered in the Middle East and around the world. Revelation 17:6 says, "And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus." This false religion is drunk with the blood of jihad, for she advances her religion by slaughter. But the main reason she is called mother is because she is the biggest false religion in the world. She is the mother of all false religions. Note how the Bible says the Christians will die in the last days by being beheaded, and no other country beheads more people than Saudi Arabia. Without doubt, Mecca is the mother of jihad and responsible for the deaths of Christians by beheading.
So what are they showing you here? Who's the only one living by the sword? These Arabs, the mingled seed of Esau with Ishmael, right? They are the ones who's living by the sword. Genesis 27 verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. And they are the ones who have this religion. This is who Esau is. It is not the so-called white man. And we're showing you over and over with this extensive proof here. This is what's going on, and this is why it's important to know who Esau is.
The angel told John in Revelation 17:9 that this mysterious city also sits on 7 hills. And Mecca does indeed sit on 7 hills. The Bible tells us that this mysterious Babylon is located near the sea. For when God causes the beast and his 10 kings to destroy Babylon, all that trade by sea, behold the smoke of her burning, as if she had been nuked. The biggest shipping lane in the world is the Red Sea, and Mecca sits right on this trade route. It's from here that these ships will behold Mecca burning. Revelation 18:17 says, "All the ship's captains and passengers, the sailors and all others who earned their living on the sea, stood a long way off, and cried out as they saw the smoke from the flames that consumed her. There never has been another city like this great city." Isaiah 21:9 says, "Babylon has fallen, and all the graven images of her gods he has smashed to the ground." John saw the same thing in the book of Revelation, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, "Babylon the Great has fallen." But where did Isaiah say this harlot could be found? Isaiah 21 says, "This is the prophecy against the desert by the sea." Mystery Babylon is a city located in a desert by the sea. John saw the same thing, and he carried me away into a desert by the Spirit, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast. The prophet Jeremiah saw the destruction of the Arabian Peninsula. Edom will become an object of horror. No one will live there or dwell in it. Hear what the Lord has planned against Edom, what he purposed against all who live in Teman. At the sound of their fall, the earth will tremble. The cry will resound to the Red Sea. The very sea that Mystery Babylon sits near is the Red Sea. But where is Edom and where is Teman? In scripture, the ancient nation of Edom stretches from Yemen, Teman, to northern Saudi Arabia, Dedan. Ezekiel 25 says, "I will stretch out my hand against Edom, and kill both man and beast. I will lay it waste, from Teman to Dedan." Isaiah 21. A prophecy against the desert by the sea. Against Duma. Someone calls to me, from Seir. A prophecy against Arabia. You caravans of Dedanites, who camp in the thickets of Arabia. You who live in Tema. Within 1 year, all the splendor of Kedar will come to an end. Where is Duma, Seir, Arabia, Tema and Kedar? It's in the Arabian Peninsula, in modern-day Saudi Arabia. Exactly as the prophets John, Jeremiah and Isaiah said. Arabia is known in Arabic as Al-Jazira, Al-Arabia, meaning the Arab island, or the desert by the sea. The original Babylon is not located near the sea, but Mystery Babylon is. And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the harlot, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. God warns his people to flee Mystery Babylon. Up, escape to Zion. You who dwell in daughter Babylon. Run away from Babylon. Run for your lives. You shouldn't die because of Babylon's crimes. This is the time for the vengeance of the Lord. He will pay the people of Babylon back for what they have done. Babylon was a golden cup in the Lord's hand. It made the whole world drunk. The nations drank its wine. That is why the nations have gone insane. Sharpen the arrows. Gather the shields. Jehovah has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which is Iran. For his plan is against Babylon, to destroy it. Yes, Iran will be amongst the Beast Alliance nations who destroy Mecca and Saudi Arabia. And Iran is going to use its nuclear weapons against Saudi Arabia.
America, who's helping Esau, right? America is helping the Saudi Arabian government, right? So they are helping Esau, and they know the end time prophecy. They know that Iran is going to shoot at Saudi Arabia. That's why they are surrounding Iran. Here is the video precept to prove that.
Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Iran is encircled militarily. Here is Iran, and here are the countries in red where the U.S. has military presence. We tried to put on the map those U.S. bases which have been reported about. They're in flashing blue here. Here you have the friendly Arab countries right next to Qatar. It's Bahrain, which hosts the U.S. Fifth Fleet. That's 40 ships, 16,000 personnel, 2 huge aircraft carriers. Kuwait, which right after the drawdown in Iraq, the U.S. There has increased the size of standby combat force. America's Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marines are boldly positioned in Oman and the United Arab Emirates. That's to the south of Iran, in Turkey and Israel to the west, and Afghanistan and Pakistan in the east. Most recently, the U.S. Air Force has dispatched a number of F-22 Raptor strike fighters to a base in the United Arab Emirates. And here it is, the brand new penetrating strike fighter. The move has caused backlash from Tehran. In addition to the hardware, the U.S. Central Command says there are about 125,000 U.S. troops in close proximity to Iran, not to mention new drone bases at undisclosed locations also in the region. U.S. officials say an enhanced presence in the Gulf is meant to serve as a, quote, quick reaction contingency force.
So again, America is helping Saudi Arabia. They're helping Esau. They're trying to stop prophecy. They're trying to stop the nuclear missile attack that's going to go down over there. That's why they're over there surrounding Iran. But the nuclear missiles are going to still fly no matter what they do.
And God even told us from where this nuclear missile would come. God said they would build a house for it in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there on its own base. The land of Shinar includes parts of both Iraq and Iran. But why would the beast, the Islamic Antichrist and his caliphate, want to destroy Saudi Arabia? Because she is still a harlot. The kings of the earth practiced sexual immorality with her, and the people of the world became drunk from drinking the wine of her immorality. How do the kings commit sexual immorality with Saudi Arabia? And what is the wine which Saudi Arabia has, which has made the earth drunk? This whore lives in a desert, and yet she produces wine in this desert. What is the wine of the desert which has made the earth drunk today? What wine have the kings of the earth prostituted themselves and their countries to obtain? oil. But how can we be sure that the whore's wine is oil? This is the time when the Lord will rescue Zion and take vengeance on her enemies. The rivers of Edom will turn into tar, and the soil will turn into sulfur. The whole country will burn like tar. Tar is simple, crude oil. The beast and his alliance, which includes Iran, will destroy Saudi Arabia, and its oil will burn. Because the beast wants full control over the Middle East's oil, and Saudi Arabia will refuse to stop supplying the West, which the Islamic Caliphate wants to control. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will fight with them there for my people and for my inheritance Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and divided my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a prostitute, and sold a girl for wine, so that they might drink. After the Islamic Antichrist conquers Jerusalem, he will divide the land up amongst the Islamic nations. And the children will be sold to the Arab nations for prostitutes, and traded for wine, which is oil. The kings of the earth have been in bed with Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia owns 1/5 of the world's proven oil fields. Saudi Arabia sells her oil across the world, especially to the West. The Islamic beast hates Saudi Arabia because of her whoring economic policies. But God hates Saudi Arabia for a different reason. Not only is Saudi Arabia pouring her oil to countries in exchange for more Islamic control over the world, but Saudi Arabia is also the greatest whore on earth, because she is also spreading her false religion to the world through Mecca. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, and will make her desolate and naked. And they will eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. If you think it's unlikely that the beast would attack Mecca, think again. The Islamic Caliphate has already burned the Kaaba once, when it bombed the city of Mecca. Iran sees Saudi Arabia as a traitor for sending oil to Islam's hated enemies. Islam itself has declared that Mecca will be destroyed. They have said the Mahdi will rule the world from Jerusalem because Mecca will be destroyed. Some Islamic prophecies also declare that other areas of Saudi Arabia will be destroyed as well. The flourishing state of Jerusalem will be when Medina is in ruins. The ruined state of Medina will be when the Great War comes. Many have missed this next verse, which describes people crying over this city and casting dust on their heads. And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas! That great city. When last did you see a Westerner casting dust on their heads, in anguish? It's not a Western custom, but it's still an Arab Middle East custom, to cast dust on one's head in anguish. And Babylon shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited forever, nor shall it be lived in from generation to generation. Nor shall the Arabian pitch his tent there, nor shall the shepherds make their flocks lie down there. Why would the Arabian be pitching his tent in the Vatican or in New York? The scriptures are clear. Babylon is in Saudi Arabia. That is where the Arabian pitches his tent, and where the flocks lie down.
Yes, the scriptures are clear. I just showed you guys that in the beginning, right? It's in Arabia, Babylon, in Arabia. It's not here in America, so the scriptures are clear. But you so-called Hebrew Israelites are pushing lies, and you don't understand scripture. This is my point. So you're pushing one lie, which pushes another lie. It's time to wake up and see the truth. America is not Babylon, and the white man is not Esau. It's a dummy doctrine.
Mystery Babylon is a city of slavery. The merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her because no one buys their cargoes anymore, human beings sold for slaves. Saudi Arabia has been condemned by numerous human rights groups for its horrific treatment of an imported foreign labor force. Saudi Arabia is also the home of one of the largest sex slavery trades in the world. The harlot believes that no one can see her atrocious behavior. She boasts of seeing no sorrow. In her heart she boasts, I sit enthroned as queen. I am not a widow. I will see no sorrow. Saudi Arabia tries to hide the terrible conditions of the lower class and attempts to cover up the abominable sex trade and to conceal the decadent lifestyles of the rich oil barons who control Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is renowned for the unparalleled decadence of the ruling class, while her workforce slaves away in terrible conditions. And she spends money like a queen, according to scripture. Merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every kind of object of ivory, every kind of object of most precious wood, bronze, iron, and marble, and cinnamon and incense, perfume and frankincense, wine and oil, fine flour and wheat, cattle and sheep, horses and chariots, and bodies and souls of men. The harlot Babylon is a big importer and a massive consumer. Saudi Arabia imports these exact same goods. Saudi Arabia is famous for its gold and jewelry markets. Mecca and its suburbs import everything because their entire country is a desert. The lustful oil countries of the world have made Saudi Arabia rich beyond her wildest dreams, and she is decked with gold and precious jewels. And Mecca is the city that sits as a queen upon the heart of the Beast Empire, which is the Islamic Caliphate. Soon the Beast Empire will be revived, and the Islamic Antichrist will proclaim that he is the true Messiah and Mahdi, and the false prophet will perform miracles to deceive many, and these miracles will falsely claim Islam to be the one true religion, and that following the Mahdi will bring peace, money, and joy to the world, and people will flock to see the miracles being done by Islam. Jesus warns people not to go out to the desert to see the so-called Messiah. If you are told that the Messiah is out in the desert, don't go there. Matthew 24:26. The desert Jesus was likely referring to is Mecca. And Jesus warns his people not to go to this desert to see this false Messiah. Jesus also said that there would be false wonders being done in Jerusalem by false prophets. A false prophet is someone who points to a false Messiah. Indeed, there will be many Muslims trying to deceive even the elect Christians into following the Mahdi. And there will be great signs performed by Satan when this Mahdi is revealed. 2 Thessalonians 2:9 says, when the wicked one appears, Satan will pretend to work all kinds of miracles, wonders, and signs. Lost people will be fooled by his evil deeds. They could be saved, but they will refuse to love the truth and accept it. So God will make sure that they are fooled into believing a lie.
And what is one of the biggest lies out here? That Esau is the so-called white man and that America is Babylon. It's not true once you study and seek the word of the Most High and stay within the context of what he's saying and stop theorizing and stop adding to his word. Then you'll understand what he's saying. Until then, you're lost and deceived by these dummy doctrines and false camps.
The Hittites used the symbol of the half moon and the solar deity. This symbol today, of course, is used by none other than the United Nations.
Now, he just told y'all that the Hittites used that symbol, right? And now it's being used by the UN, right? Well, let's go to a precept. Genesis 26, verse 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beari, the Hittite, and Bashmath, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite. So the Hittites are the ones that had these symbols. That's where Esau get it from. And this is what made Esau's mother and Isaac worried for him. The Hittites had these symbols. And now the same symbol is being used by the UN. And also this same symbol is being used by who? Nathaniel, the head guy of the IUIC camp. I showed y'all this before. He had this symbol on the back of his garment. And he was dressing like Rome, like Caesar. The same symbol. But y'all think I'm nuts and y'all think I'm crazy. This is a Hittite symbol. The Hittites. Esau. This is where Esau got it from. And now look, your same boy that's pushing this Esau's the white man doctrine is using the same symbol. You better open your eyes, man. It's a major deception going on. You are deceived. But hey, you ain't got to listen to me. So why is it so important to know who Esau is? Because Esau's religion is at the center of America. They are worshiping the same Lucifer, the same Babylonian god as the Edomites, as the Arabs, right? They have the same God. Obama is worshiping the same God.
Now, your ignorance, Mr. Prater, Islam has contributed a lot to America. In the middle of the Supreme Court in the rotunda, is a statue or bust of the Prophet Muhammad. Showing the respect that American law and jurisprudence has for the revealer of the Quran. Many of American presidents are Masons and Shriners who got to the 33rd degree and studied the Quran in secret and have the star and the crescent on their fez. So Islam is at the basis of Western and American civilization.
Many other Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them.
John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith.
President Obama has sold $100 billion in weapons to the Saudis. Many of these weapons wound up in the hands of al-Nusra, al-Qaeda, and even ISIS. Across the Middle East, wars rage with U.S. arms on both sides of most conflicts.
Believe it or not, Saudi Arabians are the ones that are controlling the Western government. They own Washington. They own Fox News. They own America. It's time to wake up. But you guys say, oh, well, where's the Arabs at? I don't see no Arabs in that. You're blind. It's time to wake up.
Saudi Arabia is the font of all evil, and let me explain how the record supports my point of view. Sunni extremists, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden himself, a Saudi. Saudis have bought off so much of America's intelligentsia and political punditry that they have totally calmed the world. They have totally calmed the world. They have totally calmed the world.
We are directly complicit with what the outrages the Saudis are committing in Yemen. Why are we doing it? Why do we have this very close relationship with the House of Saud, which also, let's add, is one of the biggest supporters of international terrorism, maybe the biggest in the globe. I think a lot of it has to do with arms deals, with the kind of sales we make to the Saudis, but also let's not ignore the fact they spend several $1 billion a year peddling influence in this town. They were one of the biggest purveyors of lighting services here, and it counts. They basically own this town. They basically own this town. They basically own this town.
That's right. Esau, the Saudi Arabians, they basically own this town. They own Washington, D.C. They own Fox News. They own everything, man. They own America. But you sleeping. Oh, you like, well, where's the Arabian? Where's the Arab? Where they at? Where they at? They own this town. It's called deception, buddy. You ever heard of it?
Arabia Saudită va fi nimicită cu desăvârșire.
Saudi Arabia will be completely destroyed.
În războiul acesta din Psalmul 83.
In this war that's mentioned in Psalm 83.
Și nu va mai avea nici o rămășiță care să rămână în mileniu.
And they will not have any remnants that survive into the millennial kingdom.
Nu uitați că în Arabia Saudită este ceea ce am putea numi scriptural unul din locurile unde este scaunul de domnie al Satanei.
Don't forget that in Saudi Arabia we have what we could call biblically one of the thrones of Satan.
Mecca.